Okay.
No se escucha, ¿eh?
Bueno, muchas gracias and welcome everybody. And thank you for joining Women for Solutions, where we create awareness, connect, learn, inspire to action to reimagine the regenerative world we need. I'm Laura Jaduru-Koch, founder of Women for Solutions, a global network of thousands of women and men entrepreneur in over 40 countries, where we share simple and effective solutions to accelerate the caring economy, a system that makes valuable and visible the important key of wellness and people and nature. Today, we are starting a new series of to showcase for-profit and non-for-profit organizations that are advancing the caring economy exponentially in a big way. Exactly. And Adriana Marina, CEO, founder of Hecho por Nosotros Animaná, is joining us today together with Jimena Vélez, also team leader in Hecho por Nosotros. And we are so happy because we are creating this movement together with many other organizations, not only in written form, so there's tangible written metrics and material, but also the talk from the heart. And Adriana Marina, she is an extraordinary innovator, change maker in the textile and fashion industry. Her vision 2 decades ago of excellence in collaboration, in her authenticity and relentless courage and fearless courage. And many have compared her to David and Goliath because the fashion industry is difficult to penetrate, and her ethical fashion awareness is happening today. Her vision, where thousands of artisans and SMEs from the original textile designers, professionals, she really has created a whole holistic way of approach where she is unstoppable, because it's not only about the traditional circular economy. She goes exponentially from education at all levels, from artisans, high school students, university students globally. And she is a change maker of mindsets. Adriana was raised in Patagonia, in Argentina, as a PhD student, PhD in economics and technology. And thus, she also has very clear how metrics can change the world. And she has created an amazing tool called the Supply Chain Hecho por Nosotros Toolkit that she will mention. But also, she has created mindsets change in consumers. She is globally recognized by Ashoka Fellows, as an Ashoka Fellow, Cortez Fellows, IKEA Foundation, and Microsoft and a Microsoft organization. And here we go. Jimena Vélez is also team leader for Hecho por Nosotros. She has extensive experience for more than 10 years in advising governmental and non-governmental organizations and multilateral organizations in projects on SDGs and ESGs in renowned law firms in New York and other places in the world. She's focused on gender parity and UN sustainable goals. She is a lawyer in Paraguay and master in law from Columbia University. On this note, I would like to ask Adriana to join us, same as with Jimena, and to start with the problem that you saw over 20 years ago, where you saw that billions and billions of dollars in this industry that have created worldwide discrimination and environmental pollutants. So Adriana, please share from your heart, as you always do, what was your original vision of creating Animaná and Hecho por Nosotros? And how did you come to do what you've done so far?
Okay, thank you, Laura. It's such a pleasure to be here at Women for Solution with you, that you inspire us every time. And you support so many organizations, women, people around the world. So thank you so much. Regarding our journey with Animaná and Hecho por Nosotros is totally rooted with my life and the life of so many around the world that cannot be directly included, yes, at the system. And I think that this own experience so strong is very important in many ways. No, I could see, like in first person, being grown in Patagonia, surrounded for that immense nature that make us dream, and so many people around the world. But then local people cannot live properly, cannot appropriate from the value added they create. They lack a lot of tools that our system created. And this information that is born locally from nature, the laws of nature, the way that communities, indigenous people, local firms evolve with nature and with their resources, is not heard and not integrated in the system we have. So with that in my heart is that I decided to see how to create this bridge among local wisdom, among local opportunities, among this huge information that we have created around the world at academic areas, at different ways, no? We have now internet, we have such, let's say, a depository of all our tools, of so many areas of knowledge that we can implement. But there is enormous gap around local micro, small, medium firms, artisans, producers, and local people in different areas. I say I work in fashion just by an error, because when you connect with producers of natural fibers, with artisans, you finish under the umbrella. And it's so interesting because this fashion industry unites us every day. There are two things we do everywhere, all of us around the world every day. We eat something and we dress something. So the fashion industry brings us all together, and at the same time can give us the opportunity to rethink how we, all of us, we are main actors of the problems we are facing today. So it's in this way that embracing all these areas, I decided to create two tools. One is Animaná, a big corp, a brand that works with natural fibers artisans from Patagonia all across the Andes, bringing contemporary design and giving the opportunity to consumers to be connected to a different way of lifestyle. And Hecho por Nosotros, hand by hand with Animaná, that from each of these good practices and bottlenecks that we solve together, we co-create solutions that we share with the global community. Yes, academics, policymakers, students, professionals, designers. So after these years, we have such, let's say, a quantity of tools based on these holistic models, on circularity, that we decided to create an organized system of education. An education that serves to human, to nature, and that brings us together in this journey of systemic change. So these are the two, let's say, places that are together and they nurture. And Hecho por Nosotros now, let's say, has as concept example Animaná, but works with so many other social firms, policymakers around the world, universities, etc., beyond Animaná. And this information that we brought from the grassroots, this local wisdom, these good solutions that people that care about their families, about their communities, and wants to, let's say, share, to be part of, to integrate to the world, is, I think, the way we can all together make this journey for the systemic change.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. And I would like to ask Jimena, also a very personal question is, what is your core motivation to be inspired by Adriana and by what she's done for the last 20 years? And how have you supported her initiatives in the last few years?
Well, I'm inspired by Adriana and her work every day and everything that we do at Hecho por Nosotros. I could go on and on, but I would focus mainly in everything related to gender and the work that we're doing at Hecho por Nosotros regarding promoting SDG 5 and gender equality. So our approach at Hecho por Nosotros' gender equality team is threefold. We focus on capacity building and empowerment, where Hecho por Nosotros, through the toolkit, we provide training and capacity building programs to enhance the skills and knowledge of female and male artisans. But as we know, the percentages of the attendees of our capacity building program are mostly women. So we focus on empowering women by promoting entrepreneurship, leadership development, and this also results in more economic opportunities for women. Another of our focus items is research and data analysis, where we conduct thorough research and collect data of our capacity building programs to identify gender disparities, understand their causes, and develop evidence-based solutions. We do this collaborating with renowned academic institutions throughout the world, where we collaborate with experts to generate knowledge and insights that inform on the gender equality initiatives that Hecho por Nosotros is undergoing. And also by providing data that results from our experience with female artisans through the Hecho por Nosotros toolkit. And lastly, through advocacy and awareness programs, where we lead campaigns to raise awareness both in the private and in the public sector with actors from the private and public sector, where we raise awareness about gender equality issues and promote the importance of gender equality. And all of this is done thanks to, Adriana's vision and her desire to democratize the information and knowledge and tools that we have through partnering and having volunteers from all over the world that collaborate on building on this toolkit that in the end helps to also empower local communities and female artisans.
Thank you, Jimena. That was very interesting. And can you both expand on your in how this vision, Adriana, has started practically 20 years ago, and how it has changed with the reality of how things have moved, and have you seen that this positive impact that you've created, for example, with the education, if you can expand a little bit on the education on the local artisans, designers, professionals, students, how has that affected the industry, and also how has the toolkit helped you so far? The same is Jimena, can you answer the question, but on the gender lens, please?
Yeah, well, first, I think, I was very lucky to be born in Patagonia, surrounded by that nature. And so I embraced these, let's say, problems, issues that we were feeling. And maybe when we live in these cities, we find this comfort and this, let's say, a way of living that is very disconnected with the processes, the loss of nature, the demand of that is behind each product we consume. No, at the same time, we have all these marketing communication tools that invites us to be consuming without any commitment about what is behind the label, what is the story of the product. So the issues and the areas are where and are so many. And at the same time, let's say the awareness and the consciousness of the society, I think many years ago, as the problems were not so in front of us, were not like shocking us as are today, we couldn't embrace and connect with these problems. So the fragmentation of the value chains, the system, found a good opportunity to grow in a very irresponsible way that we are part, no? But in this moment, I think we are all much more together, embracing and understanding that, let's say, the system and the way we are producing and consuming is not helping us, is not helping our environment, is really bringing so many problems and issues as that we will need like 2 other Earth in order to support all the trash, waste, plastic that we are creating. And fashion is plastic, no? So how we connect directly on this issue, how we are dressed with petroleum, with chemical, and how we go together for these, let's say, solutions that are totally there, are possible. We can make the world we want. All the information technology, capacity, creativity. The theme is how reconvert the way we see, yes, the medium, the ends, how we reconnect with ourselves, with our home, our environment, how we bring back soul to the products we use every day. And from there, totally can be, everything can be totally different. So the way Animaná and Hecho por Nosotros work and impulse this, let's say, collaboration framework area of co-learning, co-creation always was the same. The theme is that over the years, the problems grew and so many actors began to think how to approach solutions. Yes, so there appear much more the greenwashing and the false solutions. But at the same time, this I think is the time that also that area is over, and firms, CEOs, policymakers, academics, consumers, students, professionals, all of us, local artisans, producers, local medium firms, small firms, are thinking, well, we have to do things differently. And so there is, let's say that Hecho por Nosotros long journey and all this ecosystem that we work quite silently, hand by hand with students, professionals, different stakeholders, has an enormous importance and calls the attention. And at the same time, let's say that each of that practices, cases expand. Today, we are expanding and expanding like it's like a vibrant wave, let's say, that all this way of approaching the problems in this different way, totally transversal, forgetting from where we are, what we study, what we do, but embracing what is the challenge and how we all together co-create the solutions. And these solutions are so valuable for the system because it's what the system didn't hear all these years, all these last, I don't know, 70 or more years, no? And now we have the consequence. So we have to revert that, but also it's not easy, let's say, to approach in a different way. We are used of a way of thinking, of inventing problem, of thinking of the solutions of the problem and not experiencing. And Hecho por Nosotros and Animaná, and that holds also so many rooted organizations, cooperatives, firms that experience solutions, is bringing and creating these solutions to the different stakeholders. So the journey has not been easy, it's not easy. Also, the brand Animaná has to be like handling at the market, proposing a product with a story, with a totally commitment with all the providers, with the consumers, giving a voice, and competing with a totally industry that do not pay for the product, that is not interested at all how it's made, with what, for what is the end of the product, how is designed, the time that can be used. Nothing of these are in their, let's say, concepts. So it's not easy, but at the same time, we are growing also at the market. So all this is a thermometer that measures that the system change is occurring, is now, no? And that we need to grow these solutions, these local voices, interchanging information with our system and co-creating the basis of the new creative economy that we need to go ahead. So the toolkit that we downloaded is a very powerful tool because embrace many of these experiences, knowledge, practical cases, and gives the opportunity to make the journey and continue from there, continue co-creating new solutions. So this toolkit that is available for consumers, professionals, students, medium firms, artisans, producers, is continue like a laboratory of this systemic change, ongoing, growing, and evolving. Well, I'm so thankful to the to all the society, all the people around the world that were and are part of this journey of every day, as can be Jimena Lopez, that today is handling the area of gender.
Just one comment about this is that my heart grows fonder and fonder of Animaná and Hecho por Nosotros. And we know that, for example, the company Patagonia, that has been a major sustainability and also a B certified company in the, it's not in the fashion industry, it's in the recreation or sports industry. You know, they have also been a major force in this. And Animaná has been as effective and strong. The issue is that, you know, being in the United States, Patagonia, and having a very clear industry of people that are, there's a lot of heart in it, it's not easy. So it's really amazing how Animaná is actually overcoming that burden of as I said, as a David and the giant, a fight with the fashion industry that sometimes has more than 50 collections a year. I mean, the waste and the marketing is so ridiculous. So what you're doing, Adriana, is absolutely amazing, because it's very hard, and your challenge and your courage is commendable. So thank you. And Jimena, can you share the incredible focus that you have created through Hecho por Nosotros and Animaná on the question of gender?
Yeah, so picking up on what Adriana was just mentioning, we at Hecho por Nosotros are also adapting and are always trying to move at the pace that global change makers are moving. So we, regarding gender equality, well, the context in which we work has changed dramatically during the years, and due to the relevance that gender equality has now, and also due to the growing recognition that equality is not just a women's issue, but a societal imperative. And this acknowledge has gained momentum in the past years, as we understand how multifaceted the benefits of gender equality, the benefits are, and what it brings to communities and economies. So we at Hecho por Nosotros, we work intricately following these trends, and what I just mentioned, that other experts are how the understanding of gender equality is evolving. And we work at Hecho por Nosotros, we work intricately tied to this broader narrative, due to the reasons that I previously mentioned, and with the focuses that I mentioned, that are basically, you know, inclusive development, so that we through bringing capacity building programs, through policy recommendations, and through research and data analysis, we ensure that women are part of this development. And also that the empowerment is not only through democratizing information, but also that it's targeted to enhance and promote the economic development of of women. And this is gained through education. That is one of the pillars of Hecho por Nosotros and the Hecho por Nosotros toolkit, and also to continue to investigate and to analyze the different aspects of including women in the value chains and the cultural and societal impact that this has.
And Jimena, can you expand on your education? And also, Adriana, I think you want to say something. Maybe Adriana, you want to tell us something, then expand on the education, because in our article, we write extensively about how you've been innovators in education to the artisans.
Yeah, well, I think we have to re-educate all of us, no? If we think women, we are the biggest consumers around the world of this industry, one of the industry that creates more value added. If we think the richest men around the world are in this industry, yes, the richest, much more than the one of technology. So let's configure and embrace the power of this industry and how is hidden from the big news when we talk about climate change, immigration, slavery, traffic of people, traffic of women, slavery, no? So I think education and re-education is for all, not just for artisans. And so important to bring this information to all of us in order that each woman, each young, and each person of us began to be the change maker in the action and of consuming. This is one, no? In this sense, Hecho por Nosotros has been doing and continue working on educational tools for all in a transversal way. The other is that when we go to the community, our approach is much more to learn than to teach, to give the opportunity to bring digital gap, let's say technological tools that help for the digital gap, and different tools that they, in their hands, allows them to bring their narratives to the system, to the market, to the different stakeholders. The other theme is when we approach a community, maybe the gender issues they have is not what we think or what we presume, but in that dialogue of, let's say, of confidence, appears what are the problems they would like to solve, yes? And it's from there that we co-create solutions. And these tools are so valuable because are not imposed by the system, by our way of living and of what we think should be are the problems they have. Comes from themselves, and also the solutions comes from themselves with different tools, with another opportunity of being much more strong, working, having other tools, using technology, using information in order to embrace their way to evolve their economic life as well, yes? So this, let's say, approach is the approach that Hecho por Nosotros has since the very beginning, and that now has a lot of life experiences. I think is really important from now that we approach, let's say, others with this willing of learn from the other much more than to give tools, yes, to learn from their way of living, of, let's say, approaching with nature, with their ecosystem. This is
Basically,
that I wanted to...
Thank you. Basically, one of the key issues about Hecho por Nosotros and Animaná is that you actually listen, active listen to your community, and from there you bring innovation. And that's so, so important. It's like the key to change making in a deep, deep way. And Jimena, you want to add a few things?
Yeah, only that, what Adri mentioned is key, because in our community engagement processes, when we first arrive to communities, we have a really thorough process where we have meetings with the communities. We have, baseline questionnaires that are focused on not only technological and digital development, closing gender gaps and education, but also in listening and tailoring the needs of the communities, and to provide them and to democratize information based on not only what we at Hecho por Nosotros have identified as priorities to promote economic and cultural empowerment and development, but also what the communities themselves prioritize. And only adding that we all know the relationship, the importance of the relationship between education and gender equality, and that education is a powerful tool to promote gender equality. And we believe that by providing education and skill building opportunities to female artisans, we not only enhance their economic prospects, but also contribute to dismantling gender equalities and providing more conscious about the importance of the role of female artisans in the value chains.
I love that, because I truly believe that awareness and opening the mind of these artisans is key. And through technology, through everybody that has a cell phone in all Latin America, especially where you operate mostly, you create transparency. Can you explain a little bit more of how you are operating that technology, and how do you really impact the artisans, and how does it translate to the final consumer, this education?
Yeah. Well, technology is a tool, and if we think about this powerful tool as a medium, we really can reconvert our system. The theme is, and here I would like to call the attention of all, it's so important that we commit as main actors of this action, because if we really integrate the value chains in the different way, not leaving this to the big brands or to the big actors that are the ones that created this system, the system we live. CEOs, people of the leaders of sustainability of the big firms, they have in their ADN the old style of business. They are not rooted, let's say, in these regenerative models. They do not know how to do it. They just got concepts around circularity and sustainability. So to integrate value chains means to distribute power in hands of producers, micro, small, medium firms that finally are much than 95% of the firms we have in the global south, for example, and more than 70% of the hand workers. And many of them are in the informality that you mentioned. So important to bring informality as a treasure. We have to accept that our economy is 0.5% informality way. So if we approach the right tools in order that they can evolve their business and we can integrate to another system, I think we have to go for the new creative economy with a totally regenerative approach. And from there, the system will evolve and has the opportunity to grow endless, because when you respect nature, nature has no limits, but has its law. And so I think we have in Latin America, in the global south, a huge opportunity, but for that we have to think and approach the problems, the potentiality, the resources, our culture, all our biodiversity, our vibrant energy in another way, and evolve to this creative economy. And when we talk about creativity, and Laura, you that lead Women for Solution, this feminine energy, no, that is so receptive, that is so intuitive, that is full of creativity and of caring, I think the system we have totally cut this energy from our movement, no? So to reconnect profoundly, the feminine energy that we have it naturally, but is in all, also is in men, we have both energy. How we reconnect profoundly with this feminine energy, and from there evolve to this new system. And this will be the only way for this systemic change, to equilibrate, to recover, to give force. We think the earth has this feminine, yes. The other day I was with a group called Her Many Voices, the earth talking with her many voices. How we heard that many voices again, connect and evolve business profession as a part of our way of living, as an expression, not another theme that is totally disconnect of our values, our nature, our way of thinking, feeling, and living. Not. This is the systemic change that is occurring, is happening, and so important we give tools to young children, young people, not in order they can embrace quickly, reconnect, and evolve the new economy that we need.
Thank you. This is amazing, because really we share with you so deeply the concept of how you are educating through the creative economy. We call it a caring economy. All these hundreds of types of economies that are really approaching humans to humans rather than corporations, for profit, greed. That is something that, yes, for the last 2,000 years, we've had very, very much into our system, but we need to move ahead and move beyond that, and move to more caring and creative economy. And on that, we have Catalina here, Ospina, who has been, who is also an associate for Hecho por Nosotros, and has been very helpful to Women for Solutions, and is leading, together with myself, this movement of the exponentially advancing the caring economy. And she has a question for the two of you.
Yeah, hello. So my question is for the two of you, but I think Jimena is like more specialized in gender. So I wanted to know, you've been working for I think a year, I think, in Hecho por Nosotros, and Hecho por Nosotros has been existing for like about 10 years, I think. And I wanted to know if you notice any changes in the context that we live in regarding gender, but also regarding like sustainability and the environment. So what I mean is, if you think that there are strategies that need to be adapted to like new realities. And I think regarding women, it's especially important because there are so many movements with gender that have been happening in the last decade. And yeah, so that was my question.
Yeah, so regarding, changes, we witness like transformative changes daily. And with regards to gender equality, I would say that something that is really important to, I don't know, cope with these changes that we are having so rapidly. Metrics are really important, you know, to not only make these situations and realities visible, but also to have transparent information that we can access to in order to evaluate the progress and the processes that organizations such as Hecho por Nosotros are having and are pioneering. And in that sense, you know, our approach to changes and progress is dynamic. We try to catch up and to keep up to changes through research. That is one of our three-pronged focuses. And our research usually, you know, involves a combination of both qualitative and quantitative narratives. And this is just so we can ensure a holistic understanding of the benefits and the shifts, the social and economic shifts within the communities that we operate. And why do I mention the qualitative? Because people, organizations, and platforms usually just focus on numbers and statistics, and you know, we see it as that we have to combine these numbers and statistics and metrics with narratives from communities and priorities from communities. That is something that Adri prioritizes, and that she instilled in all of us from the very beginning, and that we try to replicate in the teams that we're leading. So that's something that I can give you feedback on that.
Yeah, one small theme in this sense, so important when we approach a community. They have so many rich stories, no? So many rich experiences that should be linked to our daily life. In this sense, now, well, since the beginning, Animaná and Hecho por Nosotros were working on ancestral legends, know how communities, indigenous people, they tell their own stories, their cosmovision, how they relate with nature, how they care their own fabric that is our home, and how we can learn from that. Also, all these treasures of local languages. And in this sense, we are now formalizing and organizing all these stories, legends from the community, in order also to give the opportunity at the community to embrace and together youth, children, old people, be together recreating and reconnecting with their own culture as a huge value. So this is part of the journey of Animaná Hecho por Nosotros, and soon we are beginning to share many of these legends and to make a call that is being is resonating so beautiful around the world. A lot of people are interested in doing this journey. So also this is part of our way of living, of dressing, of understanding our life and our role in nature.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Catalina. And Jimena, to close, we have a few more minutes, but I would like to understand, and if you can both share, you know, the caring economy, as you very well mentioned, Adriana and Jimena, in all your comments, is it's a lot about role models. And I think that Animaná, both of you have become strong role models. And if you can share one of the key elements of the caring economy, that is self-care. And that's one of the biggest issues about change makers and passionate people. And how do you transmit self-care, care for the community, care for the women, care? How do you embrace this? How do you measure self-care? Adriana and Jimena, I know it's a difficult question.
Well, no, I think there is just one way that means to reconnect much more profoundly with ourselves, have much more consciousness of our acts, how we consume, how we produce. Yes, it's a huge part of our everyday life, our connection with ourselves, with our home, and with the world. Yes, so to make this journey, and I think that now it is happening. We are in a new phase. Yes, totally. So this caring economy, I think women know that maybe because we have this powerful opportunity of giving birth, giving life, no, of and that help us to make like an intensive way of learning about caring, no, caring about ourselves and our children, our treasures, our family. So this opportunity that also is there for men, of course, depends how they approach. Help us to be much more caring in our attitude. No, let's reconnect more deeply with this way of caring and of sharing these tools. And I think this is the way, or maybe.
Thank you. And Jimena, how do you embrace self-care and the caring economy in your daily actions, in your work, with your colleagues, with your constituency, with the artisans, and so forth?
Well, when it entails to work, I always try to emphasize self-care from the lens of empathy. You know, when we engage with these communities that we work with, always try to put myself in their shoes and prioritize their needs and whatever it is that they are communicating. And in I don't know what it entails in working with other teams and groups. I try to have a conscious leadership approach where, you know, all of the voices are heard and we try to work collaboratively in everything that we do. And personally, it's, you know, it's a challenge because of what you already mentioned. We're, you know, technology has its ups and downsides. One of the downsides, I think, it's to, you know, always being connected, always having, you know, to access to work and being able to work like at any time or wherever we are. So I always try to balance by setting aside time for meditating or listening to self-help podcasts, or, you know, trying to be more conscious about what I eat, drink, and how I dress, the clothes that I buy and what I put into over my body. You know, that is something that Adri has helped with enormously, and working at Hecho por Nosotros has changed my perspective of how I approach to fashion, because as women, you know, that's something that is very much of a priority, I would say, and how fashion puts women at the center of their marketing campaigns is also, you know, something that we have to have in mind, have to bear in mind when we talk about self-care.
Thank you so much. Adriana and Jimena, do you want to make some closing statements about the caring economy, Hecho por Nosotros Animaná? And then we'll close the session. Thank you.
Jimena, ¿querés? And then I close. You want to say something?
Yeah, so I would first of all thank you, Laura and Gata, for this space and to promote these discussions that are super important. And with regarding the caring economy, I would say that I always want to focus on you know, education and the importance of education, not only from a perspective of empowering, but also that when we're looking through a gender lens on everything that has to do with development and economic and rights empowerment, that our approach does not result in the displacement of women from their livelihoods and from their usual roles and the roles that they have in society and that they have embraced. Because most of the times when we go to people go to communities or organizations go to communities, they try to impose, you know, these visions and norms that are not aligned with what communities prioritize. And so always have that that optics of addressing the caring economy also in the approaches that we have and in the efforts of empowerment and development. Also prioritizing what you know, the caring economy addresses at its core, that is not displacing women from their livelihoods and what they prioritize personally.
Thank you, Jimena. And Adriana, some closing remarks, please.
Yeah, well, I have first a huge thank to you, Laura, that you have been so supportive to Hecho por Nosotros, Animaná, all this space that you created day by day with this effort and commitment that has a lot to do with these principles that we have to embrace. And doing by example, I think, is the most important, no? And in this sense, these are the same closing words. First, to be thankful. I am so thankful about this journey, about people around the world, about Jimena's young people with a lot of tools, as well, here is Catalina, but there are so many thousands of students, professionals that come on board every day at Hecho por Nosotros in order to make this journey, yes, to experience, to collaborate, and to co-create solutions. And I think the caring economy has this embodied all these concepts, no? To go out from competition and go to collaboration. To go out from I know, I say, to co-create, to listen, to learn together and co-create the output, not that we expect, the one that we do not know that will happen. And this is maybe the way that will help to exercise this way. Doesn't matter in which organization, in our daily life, to embrace this concept, to be thankful for all the opportunities, all the richness, the potentiality we have to embrace our creativity, and from there to go for this caring economy. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Adriana and Jimena. I really am so honored to be here listening to this extraordinary woman, Adriana Marina. You are an incredible, innovative, relentless, fearless, courageous change maker in the fashion and textile industry, and an inspiration and a leader of many changes in thousands and thousands of women, from artisans to all your team in Hecho por Nosotros. And Jimena, also, you're such a great leader to inspire also all these changes. And by creating these changes in mindsets is how the fashion industry is changing bit by bit. And your vision of 20 years ago, Adriana, is coming a reality. So thank you for this incredible conversation. And not only you're changing all the artisans, but the consumers, the consumers. And I think that this is the changes we are really looking forward to. On this note, again, thank you, Adriana, Jimena, and Catalina, for all this work. We have created a Women for Solutions blog where we address in detail all these caring economy initiatives like Hecho por Nosotros and Animaná, where we describe in detail what and how this caring economy is exponentially being transformed, and how necessary and essential is for the next few years, given our imminent problems with AI and bio changes. So the end announcements, we will be next, the next one will be about Caring Economy Exponentially of a restaurant, an amazing restaurant called Crepes and Waffles, and then other NGOs and for-profit companies that are on our schedule. So you will have a detailed description and the webinar where people talk from their heart, so you really understand why the caring economy is so important. As well, Women for Solution is creating, together with Mujer Wow, a summit in July 2024 about the with his expert historians about the women in the past and how they have created women's rights, their leadership, starting from Mary Magdalene, Joan of Arc, and many others that have really moved our needle so that today women are where we are. We have to remember that, because we do not study it in high school or college, but we need to know it so that we can lead from the heart when we create change in our family, in our community, in our environment. On that note, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in a month with the next webinar.
Thank you. See you.